Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Your sensitive soul is your healing power. I want you to think about that today. The more you love, the more you reach out to those who are struggling, the more you feel empathy for their pain and give them a smile or a hug or an orange, the more you are a healing force in the world, not only healing other people, but healing yourself in the process. But today, I want you to think about your story, your journey, all you have done and seen, all you have learned, all you have taught, all the love you have given. Could be big, could be small. Don't be shy about it. Be truthful with yourself. Share who you are and what you know. All is valuable toward bringing world peace to this planet. I believe the gifts you've been given, including your sensitive soul, your large heart, your empathy, are all meant to be used. This sermon is about honoring you for every time you have done that, noticing you and learning to do that for others as well. So let's start with a quote from Mother Teresa. What can you do to promote world peace? Go home and love your family. Go home and love. Then Maya Angelou said, I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget the way you made them feel. Go home and love. So glad you're here this morning. And the good news is I heard a rumor that we may be back in the sanctuary by the next time I am here on March 20th. Don't quote me on that. It's just a rumor still, but one I'm going to put my energy toward in my daily thoughts and prayers and meditation. Please join me in doing that. But for today's service, Love Who You Are, we've got Zoom. And for that, I am grateful. I'm also grateful to be able to share with you some beautiful writing from my good friend, Donna Ashworth. She sent me 2 of her books, and I immediately ordered 15 more copies of each one because I think they are that good. The book I'm borrowing from today is called The Right Words. I want to start with a simple but profound truth about you. This is on page 91 of Donna's book. You are a wonderful twist of science and nature. If you are feeling unworthy today, my friend, consider this. There are so many ways that life could have turned and you would not have come to exist. Your parents may never have met, or their parents may never have met, or their parents' parents may never have met. And in each of these sliding door situations, so many things could have gone wrong, resulting in another human being created and not you. It happens every day. Separation, war, loss, illness, accidents, pandemics, infidelity. Each of your ancestors survived these things and returned to love, each contributing to the making of you. You are a magical, wondrous twist of science, fate, nature, and love. You are the result of so many love stories and that mysterious entity we call attraction. Your trail of magic and chance can be traced back centuries. One little change in any of these love stories, and you could have been wiped out from your very existence. You are a miracle of the coming together of so many people before you. You are most definitely born of love. So if you're feeling unworthy today, look in the mirror and really take in what makes you, you. Look at your brown eyes, or blue ones, or green. Look at your black, brown, or blonde hair, or no hair at all. Stand tall. Walk with pride. Walk as though you have 300 ancestors behind you, my friend, because you do. So let's celebrate. You are finally here. Let me tell you, I celebrate that you came here after centuries of preparation to this space and this point in time. And lucky me, I have gotten to meet you. You, the miracle of you. So I'm wondering if you are appreciating the miracle of you, valuing yourself, knowing your gifts and talents and sharing them freely with others. Are you thankful for your 300 ancestors that support you and their 300 love stories that happened before you were even formed? Can you look in the mirror and even begin to fathom what a miracle you are? Can you say to that person in the mirror, I see you and I love you. I love being who I am. Because you have an opportunity right now, today, to pour more love onto yourself, following the pattern of your ancestors. You know, we often hear that. We need to love ourselves. We need to love ourselves before we can love anybody else. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean that you brush your teeth and you comb your hair? Well, yes, it does, but it means more than that. Again, here are some ideas from Donna on page 109. If you silently laugh at your own jokes in your own head, that is self-love, actually. If you talk to yourself when things have gone wrong, the way you would talk to a child, gently and lovingly and kindly, that is also self-love. If you take yourself away when the world is loud and chaotic and you find a peaceful, quiet place, that is self-love. Loving yourself, as with all forms of love, can be found in the ordinary. So remember, if you silently laugh at your own jokes, that's self-love. You should keep that up, my friend. Keep laughing. You are worth it. I know I tell a joke to my children, and I have told it every Christmas. And when I told it the first time, I laughed and laughed and I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny to me. So last night when I was talking to Eric, my son, he said, "You're going to tell your joke, aren't you, Mom?" Because I only have one joke. And I said, well, I can do that. So here's the joke. What do you call a reindeer that's wearing earmuffs? The answer is anything you want, because they can't hear you. And then I laughed and laughed. You might not find that funny, but I did. So I want you right now to take a moment and think of things you do to love and care for yourself. Personally, I try to eat when I'm hungry, and I try to sleep when I'm tired. It's simple, but it's effective to keep me running without getting burned out. I try to call both my children and my parents at least every few days. To me, that's self-love. I repeat good jokes and I laugh all over again. And I call that self-love. What about you? What's your self-love look like? Feel free to put it in the chat box. Another thing to look for is how you talk to yourself. I had a beautiful, amazing client coming yesterday who had nothing good to say about himself. In fact, he was brutal toward himself. I'm stupid. I'm worthless. I'm beyond repair. I can never get better. So, step 1, become aware of your self-talk. Step 2, decide if it's serving you well. Step 3, how long do you want to continue saying things to yourself that are actually against you? A year? 5 years? The rest of your life? He said it was a habit he had had for 40 years. I asked him if he wanted to continue the habit or to learn how to be more gentle with himself and change his self-dialogue. He told me he didn't know. He would have to think about it because he believed it was impossible. I said, that's not true. And I started calling him out every time he put himself down. Then this miracle occurred. He started calling himself out. Oh, there it is again. Oh, there it is again. Until finally he said, you know what? I do it all the time. I smiled and I said, yeah, I know. I'm the receiver of your negative energy. So that's step 1, becoming aware of our self-talk. I asked him if he spoke to himself, how he spoke to himself felt good or not. And he said, of course not. So then I went on to step 3. How many more years do you want to continue speaking against yourself so harshly? And he said right away, none, which is great. All I have to do is remind him of that moment every time he puts himself down. I think it will take him some time to shift out of that habit, but it is definitely possible. And that's all you have to do too. Become aware of the things you say to yourself that are negative, put downs, and also become aware of things that you say to yourself that are positive, affirmations, and ask yourself, which one is stronger, the negative talk or the positive talk? For most people, the negative wins hands down. So, how long do you want to keep that negative voice in charge of you? Begin today silencing it. When it pipes up and says something mean to you, oh, you're so stupid. Oh, you'll never get to happy. Turn to it metaphorically and say to it, I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe what you are telling me anymore. And then say the opposite to yourself. I am smart. I am definitely going to get to happy. I intend to, and nothing can stop me. Then when negative Nanny shows up again, laughing, tell her again, I don't believe you anymore. Go away. Leave me alone. I am an incredible human being. This is where you need to get in the habit of singing Helen Reddy's song, I Am Woman. The lyrics also apply to men. You can bend but never break me, because it only serves to make me more determined to achieve my final goal. And I'll come back even stronger, not a novice even any longer, because you've deepened the conviction in my soul. Which makes me think of Mother Teresa. She was convicted in her soul to feed as many hungry people as she could, to ignore the naysayers, and to go forth doing as much good as she could. Here are her words to contemplate. Today, may there be peace within you. May you trust that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. And may you remember the 300 ancestors who walk with you. May you use the gifts you have been given and pass on the love you have been given. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones. You are fine just the way you are. Allow your soul the freedom to dance and sing and praise and love. It is there for each one of us, to claim our true selves and the miracle of who we really are and how we get here. It's there, a full life for you, for each and every one of us. I want to end today's sermon with one more request. It's page 63 in Donna's book. This is my prayer for you. I pray that you will dance whenever the moment takes you. I pray that those moments will come often. My wish for you is that you will ask questions, unafraid to be seen as ignorant. I wish you would say sorry without shame and learn to realize that we are all wrong sometimes. We are all imperfect. And without mistakes, wisdom cannot grow. So be thankful for your mistakes. I wish you would stop filtering your words for weakness. The world needs to hear you just as you are, your wisdom, what you have learned. And those moments of sharing the real you are just pure joy and lovely. So I encourage you to share your authentic self. I pray that you will embrace your you-ness. Stop trying to be a copy of someone else. There are enough of those already. I wish you would loosen your reins a little bit, my friend. Let the horse bolt from the stable sometimes and race around the hillside untethered, because that is living. Now I have a confession to make. When I read that, let the horse bolt from the stable sometimes and race around the hillside untethered, that is living, I cried. And then later in the book, when I read, I wish you would see what I see when I look at you. Wild child of the sun and the moon, full of light and laughter and love. I cried some more. Why? Because the person who had room for me, my wild child, the person who role modeled wild, my stepmother, Pauline, died 2 weeks ago today from COVID. She was the compass my soul needed. She was my North Star. She was my wild. I hope you let your wild out sometimes and embrace him or her. I also hope you have someone in your life who celebrates your wild. You're free. You're bolting from the stable sometimes and racing around the hillside untethered. I hope you have room for your own wild, unafraid to step into something new, a new relationship, a new job, a new house, a new you. And may you let peace into your heart sometimes too. Let all that noise and bustle fade away and become as you are intended to be, happy. I wish that you would see that happiness is a choice. And I wish that at least once a day, you would choose it. You just have to choose it, and happy will come to you. You have the power to choose happiness whenever you like. So I hope you choose it today. And always remember, too, what Shakespeare said to us. This, above all else, to thine own self be true. You are sacred. You are a miracle. You are light, and I love you. So this, above all else, to thy own self be true. Fall in love with how wonderful you are. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.